Coming up on this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we get behind the scenes at a regional bridge tournament in North Falmouth, celebrate spring with Highfield Hall and the Falmouth Village Association, look in on the Care for the Cape and Islands event at the Nobska, and get a new perspective on life as a Muslim youth in America. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm Michael Kasparian, president of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. This past May 11th, the town of Falmouth officially commissioned its new 4-megawatt solar array. The installation was planned by the Falmouth Economic Development and Industrial Corporation and developed by Citizen Solar on unused landfill space off Thomas Landers Road. Over the 20-year lifetime of the installation, Falmouth is expected to receive $14 million in economic benefits through energy savings, lease payments, and local taxes. The array removes a potential 4,000 tons from the town's carbon footprint. Former Congressman Joe Kennedy of Citizens Energy Corporation was on hand to help flip the switch.
The town of Falmouth has a long-standing commitment to renewable energy as we strive to find ways to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and minimize our carbon footprint.
If you look out here behind us and you see this wonderful field full of what used to just be nothing but trash and dirt, and now it's making energy for the people of this community.
We embrace diversity here is a theme of a new poster you'll be seeing throughout Falmouth. These posters were created by artist Bobby Balin of West Falmouth. Bobby wanted to create a simple, welcoming message to residents and visitors of different ethnicities, religions, and sexual orientations. The phrase on the poster, chosen as a result of a meeting with Lawrence School students, is repeated in Hebrew, Arabic, Hindi, Mandarin, Portuguese, and Wampanoag. If you'd like to take part in publicly displaying this inclusive message, you can pick up posters at the Falmouth Public Library main branch, the Falmouth Service Center, and here at FCTV. There's a lot going on at Town Hall these days, and here's updates from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Joint Base Cape Cod gave the selectmen its annual briefing at a recent meeting. Representatives from the base reported on command changes, command structure, economic impacts on the region, and the geographical use of the base. Selectmen were pleased with the presentations and thanked the base and the officers.
We're still very active partners in both national defense and the greater community around us, and look forward to your continued interaction with Joint Base Cape Cod.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
The Cape Light Compact also reported to the board at their last meeting presenting the joint powers entity. The board heard a representative from the compact explain the differences between the current structure and relationship of the compact with Falmouth and the new joint powers entity structure. One of the key differences being financial, the selectmen questioned Cape Light Compact further about funding sources and the timeline of its current partnership. The selectmen will be voting on this issue in their next meeting.
We actually budget in 3-year increments, so we have an approved budget through 2019, December 31st, 2019. So those funds are set and stable, but I see us getting smaller over time because I think we've insulated many homes, not every home. They're still hard to reach and hard to serve. So long term, getting smaller in the next 3-year plan, doing things maybe differently, looking at maybe some of the renewable funds if we're authorized and approved for that, which is right now collected and maintained by the state. And also, I think there'll be some savings moving from the preliminary, there'll be some savings moving from the counties. We'll see some savings in our rent and other overhead costs as well.
Members of the Woods Hole Business Association spoke to the board in their last meeting regarding the parking meters and time limitation on the meters in Woods Hole. The association argued in favor of extending the time limitation of the meters from 2 hours to 3 hours. The selectmen ultimately agreed with the association that the 2-hour time limit is too short for normal business activity in Woods Hole and voted to extend the limit to 3 hours as a trial to gather additional data for future use.
I chaired the tourism committee for about 5 years. I also have grandchildren. There just is no way that 2 hours makes business sense. And I think if we just tried it and, didn't do anything for this season, you add that to the fact that we've lost 20 plus spaces, you add that to the construction that's going on over, these businesses aren't going to recover very easy. That's too much pile on. So that's why, I think it would be very interesting to see if that could be a possibility.
I think unless we allow the 3 hours, we're never going to know whether or not it's a valid request. So I guess for that reason, I'd be in favor of it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, the ayes have it.
To see the meetings in their entirety, please visit FCTV's website at fctv.org to view the programming schedule. If you're an angler, it's a great time to catch those early season stripers as they migrate north. Here's Andrew Burke from myfishingcapecod.com on the beach with more.
Hello everyone, this is Andrew Burke of myfishingcapecod.com, and today we're going to go over how you can catch early season striped bass.
That's great. I got it. We'll get it on this one right here.
In this clip, My Fishing Cape Cod founder Ryan Collins is catching his first migratory striped bass of the 2017 season. This footage was shot back in late April, and since then, more and larger fish have moved into the area. There are many ways to catch these migratory striped bass, although the most exciting and often productive way is with topwater lures. Pencil poppers and standard poppers can offer fast-paced action for anglers on the beach or in the boat. These fish are very hungry after their long journey north. They also put up an excellent fight. In the Falmouth area, you can expect fish this size and keeper-sized bass throughout the month of May. The splashing action of a topwater plug really riles the fish up and gets them to bite. In terms of location, focus your efforts on rocky areas with a lot of current. Fish tend to congregate in areas like these, and often the fish bite very well. After a very long Cape Cod winter, it certainly feels good to put a bend in the rod. Overall, in the Falmouth area, you can expect the fishing for striped bass to be very good. Whether it's from the beach, like this beautiful fish right here, or perhaps in the boat, where bait can easily be obtained in the Buzzards Bay area. It can be easy to load up on mackerel for an epic day of striped bass fishing. This footage was taken last May in the Buzzards Bay area.
Another nice hit. Oh, come on.
And as you can see, the topwater hits are absolutely ferocious. It can make for fun, fast action for anglers of any skill level. Visit myfishingcapecod.com for all the latest Cape Cod and Falmouth fishing reports.
Thanks to Andrew Burke for that report. Right now, we're going to take a break to learn about a pair of lovable, adoptable dogs from Friends of Falmouth Dogs. When we come back, we'll learn more about care for the Cape Day at Nobska Light, a recent bridge tournament at the Seacrest, a relay across Cape Cod for Heroes in Transition, and we look at 2 ways Falmouth celebrated spring. Stay with us.
Friends of Falmouth Dogs is looking for foster homes for 2 dogs. Both are older and have various health issues. We're still learning more about their health. The foster homes may be temporary or permanent. Temporary would be for the duration of treatment, and permanent would be for the life of the dog, however long that ends up being. Friends of Falmouth Dog pays all expenses for its dogs in foster homes. George is a German Shepherd. He's lively for an older male and enjoys playing with toys. He's great on walks and loves the company of people. Smurf is a Pekingese. He takes short walks and also enjoys the company of people. He especially likes getting belly rubs. Both are very sweet dogs, and their kennels are next to each other at the shelter. If you are interested in either dog, or just want to learn more about the foster program, call Friends of Falmouth Dogs at 508-548-7742 or email info@friendsofFalmouthDogs.org.
Welcome back. The 4th annual Care for the Cape and Islands Day at Nobska Light and Woods Hole offered an opportunity to come together with individuals and local businesses to help with the beautification and preservation of Falmouth's historic lighthouse. Participants had a picture-perfect day to enjoy the event, which included a tour of the home and lighthouse.
So today, Care for Cape and the Islands has come to partner with Friends of Nobska Light to do a generalized work day, clean up, spring sprucing up, and get a lot of small tasks that we have done that volunteers can do for us, because we have many of those things that will make us look better and be ready for summer and people coming.
We've got about 55 volunteers, and they're doing a variety of activities, picking up trash, doing some painting. They made these little tick collectors, so hopefully we can keep some ticks off of people. Just some general cleanup and getting the lighthouse ready for the upcoming season.
Friends of Nobska took over the property a year and a month ago, and we've been in the planning stages and doing some very basic work but some very important work that you can't see. We've entered into an agreement with our architects, and they've done a full assessment of the property, and they were Brown, Lindquist, Finuccio, and Raber, who are Cape-based architects. And we've developed a master plan and looked at what it will take to convert the Keeper's House into a museum, and we've opened the tower for tours on a regular basis, and so we're continuing that work. Falmouth kindly gave us money from the Community Preservation Act to do significant work to the tower. We're looking for the contractors now for that. We're out with requests for proposals for that. And so we expect we will not be undertaking that work until fall, just because of the timing of summer and how busy it would be to be working here then. I think we have an opportunity to show people something wonderful here and to be a window to all the other things that happen in Falmouth. Because when we open the door to the tower, people just stop and come in. And they might not be stopping anyplace else, but then they ask and say, what else is there? And we can say to them, you should see all of this if you're interested in history or science or the other things that this community has to offer.
Thanks to Bob Fenstermaker for that piece. The American Contract Bridge League recently held its seniors regional tournament at the Seacrest Beach Hotel in North Falmouth. 455 players from across the country, including a number of qualifiers from Falmouth, faced off for the coveted gold and red points that would take them to the next level in this national competition.
Falmouth has perennially been one of the main bridge playing communities on the Cape, and but over the course of the last year or so, that game has lapsed. So I have the honor of being able to resuscitate that game here in Falmouth at the Gus Canny Center. So I'm here today for it's a double blessing for me to be a part of this event at Seacrest, because you've got players from all around the world, all around the country, and we've got some local, really ambassadors of the bridge game, and I'm honored to be here.
I picked Falmouth because this is a beautiful venue. For years we were in Hyannis, and we used to be here, and we went to Hyannis, and we're back to here. We try to have our tournaments around New England as much as possible, and this is a very desirable location, so that's why we're here. Well, we're expecting about 1,000 tables, was 4 people at a table, so we're expecting a good turnout at this venue.
I'm Bob McCaw. I'm the president of the local unit of the American Contract Bridge League, and as you can probably see here, there are a lot of bridge players in the world, and what we are conducting right now is a tournament which is a senior regional, which basically means anybody over the age of 60 can play in it. And we're currently running an open sectional, which is a slightly smaller event, but that's open to absolutely everyone.
And my husband and I played bridge long before we got to Falmouth, and then we started teaching bridge. And then I joined Bernadine's Bridge Club.
And I want to invite everybody to come down to the Gus Canty Center at 790 Main Street in Falmouth every Thursday, year-round, at 12 noon. We're going to be having bridge for the love of the game. May 4th is our first session, and it'll be every Thursday, unless it falls on a holiday or something, but every Thursday, all year round. So the response from the community has been awesome. I might not have enough room for all the players that may come, but we will grow, and we will be able to accommodate young people, older people. Historically, this has been a senior game, but we're trying to make it intergenerational, and so we're going to invite and have a lot of young people who want to learn how to play the game come down and get into our beginners league.
Several of the local players who competed are starting a new bridge club at the rec center every Thursday at noon. Thanks to Bob Fenstermaker for that piece. A unique race occurred in early May on Cape Cod, the Ruck for Heroes in Transition, an event that challenged 12 teams to make their way to the tip of the Cape and back, but they did so with one additional challenge. Falmouth in Focus contributor Liz Lerner was on one of those teams and tells us more.
This is the Ruck for Hit, the Heroes in Transition, run across Cape Cod, 200 plus miles, 12 teams. We're starting here at the courtyard, and we're going to take off soon. And consider this the before picture, because in 36 hours when we're done at Dino's, it's likely to look quite different. But we're excited to start this run for Heroes in Transition.
I'll be there greeting you in, and just be safe. That's it. Thank you for doing this.
At 12:28 a.m. on Friday, May 5th, 12 teams made their way down 28A and onto Falmouth's Shining Sea Bikeway. A team member from each group would break away from their team to start their first leg in an extreme relay race. And it wasn't the mileage that was the extreme part. It's what they carried that really pushed the participants to their limits. Racers wore 20 or 30-pound rucksacks as they ran through each town on the Cape. The point was to physically challenge the participants and remind them of what members of the military carry, both figuratively and literally. It was a challenge that the 7 runners and 2 drivers from each team took head on.
Well done.
The course traveled well into Falmouth, then Mashpee, Barnstable, and further down the Cape. In addition to the hundreds of miles of running over a 36-hour period, each man had multiple challenges to overcome, both natural, like the hills, pouring and at times torrential rain, and lack of sleep. But there were engineered challenges as well. A beach run and sandwich, carrying a weighted stretcher as a team at Chatham Lighthouse, and climbing the Pilgrim Monument in Provincetown.
To enter the Pilgrim Monuments here in Provincetown. This is a team challenge for us, where we get to climb to the top of the monuments together as a team. It's going to be a challenge because we're all pretty much in pain.
You guys good?
The volunteers along the route were abundant, and on many of the 69 exchanges there were volunteer physical therapists present as well, ready to help those who needed it. Among the 12 teams were a variety of abilities. Some ran the entire way, others had to skip legs due to injury and visibility. But regardless, the emotions at the end and the bonding that occurred within each team were immense. And most importantly, the goal was achieved. They raised money and created awareness for Heroes in Transition and their programs for veterans.
So we're here at the finish line at Dino's in Mashpee after 200 plus miles, 36 plus hours, and a lot of rain. We had 12 teams that went through it all, and we'd say a lot of supporters here, all for Heroes in Transition. And I have to say it's an experience I'll never forget, and something I hope to do again in the future.
As of mid-May, the race was able to raise over $140,000 for Heroes in Transition, and the event organizers are already planning next year's race, which will take place on May 4th and 5th. Highfield Hall recently opened their doors for another season of events with an open house complete with their 4th annual Maypole dance, art exhibits, floral arrangements, and life-size replica of a right whale and more. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Peter Franklin, the Executive Director of Highfield Hall and Gardens, and I want to welcome you to our open house today. We have a tradition of having this open house on the first weekend of May, and we invite everybody in the community to come because this is a restored home and it's owned by the community. It was built in 1878. We spent 23 years restoring it, and now we offer all sorts of great events for the community.
We are having our annual spring open house, and we have so much going on I'd love to tell you about. Probably the most exciting thing is we have a life-size humpback whale right out back that's delighting all the children. We have our spring art exhibitions, and they're all around the ocean theme. We have artists here in 3 different exhibitions. The first is the Gulf of Maine project, Protecting Our Oceans. And these artists have come down from Maine, and they've brought absolutely gorgeous artwork. And their goal is to remind us that our oceans are the most important resource that we have on the earth. And in the Clark Gallery, you'll have an opportunity to meet Margot Cheel. She's doing a book signing. She has a brand new book for children, as well as a book that she's had out for a while of her incredible aerial photography. The third exhibition, which is actually one of my very favorite that we've ever had here, is an exhibit of 65 artworks, award-winning artworks by children from K through ages 12. They are all winners of a contest that's sponsored by the Massachusetts Marine Educators Association, and their work was chosen from over 700 entries. This is our 4th annual Maypole Dance. We have a great band from Woods Hole, the Queen Victoria Secret Band.
Today we have a music concert with Robert Wyatt. We have maypole dances for the children. We have floral arranging for adults and children, and much more. So I hope you come to Highfield Hall soon, and I hope you come often.
Of course, Highfield Hall wasn't the only place embracing the spirit of spring. Nicole Fox brings us a look at the Falmouth Village Association's very colorful Village Blooming.
Hi, my name is Nicole Fox, and I help out with marketing for the Falmouth Village Association, and we are here promoting Falmouth Village Blooming. It's an event that happens every year in Falmouth at the beginning of May, culminating on Mother's Day, and it's really our time to just welcome spring as a town. Just to give you a little bit of information about the baskets, all of our participating members, and we do have a lot of participating members, decorate their own May basket. So this happens every year at the beginning of May in Falmouth. You can see we're out front of Green-Eyed Daisies right here. So each basket is put together by the store, and we invite people to vote on our Facebook page. You can walk up and down Main Street, and when you get home, just like, comment, or share on the basket photo that's your favorite, and that business will be crowned People's Choice winner. The Falmouth Village Association is responsible for lots of great events throughout the year. So we couldn't do it without your support, so continue to shop, dine, do everything you have to do right here in Falmouth Village, and be sure to visit our Facebook page and falmouthvillageassociation.com for updates and details.
Thanks to Andrew Richards for that piece. We'll take a short break, and when we return, We'll get an interesting perspective on life as a Muslim in America.
The Upper Cape is home to many excellent restaurants, with new ones opening each season. A great way to try many of them in one place is to attend the annual VIPS fundraiser, the Feasts of Falmouth and Beyond. This year, our 15th annual Feasts of Falmouth will be held on Friday, June 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Mahoney's Garden Center in East Falmouth. Attendees have a chance to sample dozens of items from over 20 local restaurants. Why do so many restaurants go to all this effort? Because they enjoy serving their specialties to our crowds, of course. But these local business owners also believe in giving back and helping students by supporting VIPS. Our programs and volunteers help Falmouth VIPS reach every student every day. Check out the VIPS website for more information, www.falmouthvips.org, or call VIPS at 508-548-1621. We look forward to seeing you on Friday, June 9th.
Falmouth, No Place for Hate, recently invited Muslim educator Barbara Salih to present her interactive workshop entitled Muslim Youth Voices. Participants were offered insights on Islam and what it is like to grow up as a Muslim in America. Here's Nell Fields to tell us more.
Hi, my name is Reverend Nell Fields. I'm on the steering committee of No Place for Hate. This evening we just had a wonderful presentation from a Muslim educator, Barbara Salih. Barbara Salih is from the Boston area. She was a Muslim scholar with Andover Newton Circle program, which also includes Hebrew College. Barbara was able to come here in Falmouth and talk to us about what it means to be a Muslim in the United States today.
And so this quote really kind of sums up the situation, that the paradox of Islamophobia is that many people that are afraid of Islam know very little about it.
I'm an educator, a former middle school language arts teacher, and when I was teaching, I began to discover just how much young people have to say that we don't often give them credit for. And this gave me the idea to start a project called Muslim Youth Voices, to give young people a chance to share what their experiences are living in the U.S. And in what ways their religious identity is interacting with their lives.
And really, the core belief is a belief in one God. Islam is a monotheistic faith in the tradition of Judaism and Christianity. It is one of the Abrahamic faiths. And the word Allah in Arabic is the word for the one God. It is not a different God for Muslims. It is simply the Arabic word for the one God. The God of Abraham, the God of Moses, the God of Jesus, the God of Muhammad.
One of the ways that I like to share these narratives is by an activity called a silent conversation. And this evening I gave people an opportunity to get up, spread around the room, and read silently some of these stories, and then respond in writing on the big paper. Any thoughts that came to their minds, whether they have a personal connection with what the student has written, whether there's something that surprised them or made them more curious, or whether there was some insight into what this young person was going through. And I find it a really effective way to engage with someone else's text by doing this activity.
I think the most compelling thing that happened here is twofold. One, that we learned what it meant to be a Muslim. From a woman who's a Muslim herself, she was able to dispel a lot of the stereotypes. And she also taught us how important it is that we educate ourselves, educate each other, learn from each other, because we are all in this together. And that's what No Place for Hate is all about, educating folks.
I'm making a distinction between the way politics works, the way, military and governments work, versus the way human beings potentially can think and act towards others. I think that's where the hope lies, is in just human beings coming together. Just as all of you people came out here tonight, with curiosity, with interest, maybe with some trepidation, I think this is a really positive sign and a way forward. I'm grateful to No Place for Hate for inviting me to come down here and engage with this very lively audience. It was very informative for me, and I hope for them as well. And I hope to come back again. Falmouth is a beautiful place.
Thanks to Anthony Sedera for that piece. Here at FCTV, we want you to know that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos or videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and use the hashtag MyFalmouth and Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of Ride to Work Day along the shining sea bike path. Thanks for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.